Got to push the button for that to work. All right. What is up, everyone? Happy Monday. And it's not just any Monday, it's MLK Jr. Day. Got lots of love today, and we got a great community of poets and performers who are going to share their soul with you today. My name is Rich. I am the project director of the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. We are based out of El Paso, Texas, right here in the U.S. Mexico border in the U.S. Southwest. This particular show is what we love to call the stay at home open mic, right there. Boom. Because a lot of us are coming from the comfort of our living rooms since the pandemic and quarantine and all that. A lot of us have taken responsibility and started these online shows so we can still create without putting people in danger, and just we're just looking out for others, and we don't have to sacrifice our creativity. We get to form communities. I definitely encourage people to, if you guys are listening or watching, please, let us know, who do you love, what lines really struck a nerve with you, what made you feel something, did you learn anything? Man, like, there's so much knowledge being dropped in a lot of these pieces that people share. You learn so much. Yes. So let us know in the comments. Say hello. Where are you listening in from? And of course, we're gonna encourage each performer their books or merch, so you guys can support them. If anything, even their Cash App, stuff like that. You can send them cash so they can buy coffee. Help a poet drink some coffee this week. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to our awesome, super amazing host today, Poet Khan. And as always, she's going to rock it. So, Khan, go ahead and take it away. I'm going to step off into the background. Peace.
Woo, 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 woo. Hey, y'all. Hello, everyone, my beautiful people. I'm going to attempt to share screen, and I'm going to, yeah, I've never done this. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. Can you guys see it? We're good? All right. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in the exile of his own land. And so we have come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, Black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the bank of injustice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. And so we've come to cash the check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to his hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in luxury of cooling off or to let the tranquilizing or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all God's children. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. This sweltering summer of the Negro's legitimate discontent will not pass until there is an invigorating autumn of freedom and equality. 1963 is not an end, but a beginning. Those who hope that the Negro needed to blow off steam and will now be content will have a rude awakening if the nation returns to business as usual. There will be neither rest nor tranquility in America until the Negro is granted his citizenship rights. The whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. But there is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle in the high plane of dignity, discipline. We must allow our creative protest to degenerate into We must not allow our creative protest to degenerate into physical violence again and again. We must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soulful force. The marvelous new malignancy which has engulfed the Negro community must not lead us to a distrust of all white people. For many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. And they have come to realize that their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of the police brutality. We can never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the cities. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their selfhood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating whites only. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro in Mississippi cannot vote and a Negro in New York believes he has nothing for which to vote. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I am not mindful. I am not unmindful of some of you, that some of you have come here out of great trials and tribulations. Some of you have come from fresh, narrow jail cells. Some of you have come from areas where your quest for freedom left you battered by the storms of persecution and staggered by the winds of police brutality. You have been the veterans of creative suffering. Continue to work with the faith that unearned suffering is redemptive. Go back to Mississippi, go back to Alabama, go back to South Carolina, go back to Georgia, go back to Louisiana, go back to the slums and ghettos of our northern cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will change. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom, justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day, right down in Alabama, little Black boys and Black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill, every mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With faith, with this faith, we will be able to work together, pray together, struggle together, go to jail together, stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from the Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and every molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom to ring, we will let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state, every city, and we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, Black men, white men, Jews, Gentiles, Protestants, Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Amen. And you know what? That's also
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Khan.
That was the perfect thing.
And that's not only, that's,
Thank you so much.
thank you, man. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for this moment. Thank you for taking me in and allowing me to be my unapologetic self at this moment. I appreciate you so much. And that's not only for that, that's for our they, them. That's for our gay people, for our, and if I'm, forgive me. But yes, that's for every walk of life, that we can all walk hand in hand. All walks of life. Amen. That's the dream. Amen. So heck yeah, that's a dream of mine. I got to read his beautiful speech. That means everything to me. So we're gonna kick off the night with, well, first of all, thank y'all for tuning in. This is MLK Day. I'm here with my family. I call BWOMS my home because it is, that's just what it is. I love y'all so much. Kit, baby, all the regulars, Richie, everybody in the building. I'd say all your names, but all of you. I'm so glad to be here with you guys tonight, sharing some poetry, sharing some truth. Okay, so we're gonna jump into it, and we're gonna start with my beanie god. I would put my beanie on, but I kind of want to smush my fro. But we're gonna start with my deadpan lizard. Come on to the stage. Hey, darling.
Do not put a beanie on that beautiful hair. You look amazing, and I'm always so happy to see you. And thank you for reading Dr. King's speech. So important that we hear that, not just today, but we read that and hear that often. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet tonight. I'm going to read a panku for first one. It's called Church in Real Estate Panku. Our Church of Poetivity helps close real estate deals because sometimes I have to give their Near Recon Poets Cafes an address when I take clients out. And then I'm just going to read two triolets. The first one is called Dr. King Triolet. Today we celebrate Dr. King, who believed in bending towards justice, a ping every third Monday of January for us to do better. Today we celebrate Dr. King. The arc of the moral universe is not just a long thing. Activism is not something that is pending. Today we celebrate Dr. King, who believed in bending towards justice. The final piece I will read tonight is I wrote a triolet about my father because he's been very into this style of poetry. So it's called My Fiery King of Typos. My father, the king of typos, a fiery Sagittarius, compassionately writing manifestos, worried for the world being left for the rest of us, not burying his head in the sand like ostriches hiding. My father, the king of typos, if he is typing, or excuse me, if he is playing golf, please do not bother him. Though a traditionalist, he is not pious. My father, the king of typos, a fiery Sagittarius, compassionately writing manifestos, worried for the world being left for the rest of us. Thank you.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. You guys show some love. Yes, if you know, heck yeah, I'll show the love. Heck yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Poets needs their roses, babies. Heck yeah. Thank you, Lizzie. Beautiful tribute to your father. There's a line you said, worried of the futures ahead or the troubles ahead. That's apparent there, huh? I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. Next, we have to the stage. You guys, please, as we roll through, drop your awesome, how we can support, contact you in the chat. And if I'm moving too fast, just slow me down. Just tell me, hey, I want to say something else, and I'll, okay. All right, so next we have to the stage, Mr. Mike Zindler.
Hello. I just want you to know, Pam Greer just called me and said she's jealous of your hair.
You said
But
you want hair back.
yeah, yeah. But of course, we know what I'm going to say here. Lighthousewriters.org, all you YouTube people, check it out. So many great things happening. And I've been writing a bunch of new stuff, but I am going to actually read something a little older that I have read here before, but I just want to read because it's today. And this is Shade from Mark Bradford. And for people who don't know, Mark Bradford is one of the great painters in the world today. Check out his work. What was is not what is. Layers pasted and torn back like scar tissue that never heals. The black skin, resilient yet aching from endless abuse. The cry of pain reaching out to cover the landscapes, broken, cracked, but indelible, even in the face of attempts to obliterate. The charred skin of bodies lynched and left to rot showed these marks, the wild and vicious slashes of floggings and canings as well. And still, no matter how much is torn away, how intense the attempt to obliterate, to desecrate and destroy, there remain patches of proud, pure black, stubbornly holding fast to the canvas of history, refusing to be negated, no matter how denigrated, how dismissed, how denatured, no matter how powerful the tug of forces straining to unlodge them and to pull them from the story, to rip out native tongues and leave a dark pool of silence. But within these dark, inky depths, this black swamp of memory, a song vibrates, carried over burnt loam hills on fragile wings, wispy shadows lacing land with homespun pattern, lending definition and dignity, anchoring chords of hope, notes of defiance, and resonating tones of resilient spirit. A song of knowledge, decrying that dormant within this world of thin and brittle, pasty and paltry, faded and fading, damned and doomed prejudice, lying in wait in the cool shadow of shade, the soft, pure richness of black will persevere. Okay, I'm going to follow that up with one that This one I kind of wrote in answer to a piece in a generative workshop where this guy wrote something about how he walked up to a woman on the street and said hello, and he was just so upset that she wouldn't say hello to him back. And I'm just like, man, she has no obligation whatsoever to say a damn thing to you. So I wrote this. It's called Hold Up the Dream. Do not surrender your right to choose. You have no obligation to be part of anyone's conversation. You do not have to give an excuse. You do not have to express your viewpoint. You do not have to return a compliment. Your voice is yours. Your space is yours. Your time is yours. Forcing your compliance is abuse. Do not let yourself be gaslit. But when you want to speak your mind, do not let the stifling sense of insecurity or a confining wall of false superiority nailed up around you by haters hold you back. Knock that wall down with your truths. Speak out from the conviction of your soul. If others want to hear, they will. If they want to ignore, let them. It is their loss. But do not force, just as you do not wish to be forced. Kindred ears will reach kindred hearts. Kindred voices will join with you in shared acceptance of mind and message. Do not waste your time in argument running into the same impediment over and over until you knock yourself senseless, brow bloodied for no reason. Do not lecture those who will not listen. Find those who seek and share wisdom. They are not a waste of time. They are your ever-growing community. Do not surrender your dreams or dignity. Refute the past distorted mirror vision melted by hot, cruel mockery to obscure your true visage. Refute the vain slander of those who would put you down to rise higher on inflated sense of self-worth. Do not surrender and do not shrink. Reach out with gentle strength. Help hold up the dream of a world without hate. And I'm going to do one more here, and it's called Ballooning. And the epigraph here is, don't despair of this falling world, Jane Hirschfeld. It may seem as if our world is but a fragile, thin balloon, paper mache'd over with sticky strips of lies and hate, held together by plaster of platitudes, a pin poised, ready to pop the thin rubber membrane, leaving only a flimsy, frail rind with no warmth or color behind. But even without the inflated elastic husk, sweet breath of creation remains inside, working from within with artistic alchemy, legerdemain transformation of rough, raw surface, paper and paste metamorphose into softer substance, the green breath of life, the clear breath of truth, the prismatic breath of love, curing cellulose orb warming from within, incubating filaments of newsprint turned to silken strands of rich moss holding dew, glistening growth with mercurial potential, new natural carpet on which to build better, pulling needed nutrients from inner ether, exhaled straight from lungs of love, true essence of expansive universe, that which knows no time but now, that which always finds the way to life, that which we must learn to breathe in and out as we lay ourselves across this new formed world, ballooning with promise. And I'm going to do a short hat poem because I know I've used a bunch of time already and want to give everybody. But this one is heavy, so if I shed a tear, y'all will forgive me. It's called Ballad of Birmingham by Dudley Randall on the bombing of a church in Birmingham, Alabama, 1963. Mother dear, may I go downtown instead of out to play and march the streets of Birmingham in a freedom march today? No, baby, no, you may not go. For the dogs are fierce and wild, and clubs and hoses, guns and jails aren't good for a little child. But mother, I won't be alone. Other children will go with me and march the streets of Birmingham to make our country free. No, baby, no. You may not go, for I fear those guns will fire. But you may go to church instead and sing in the children's choir. She has combed and brushed her night dark hair and bathed rose petals sweet and drawn white gloves on her small brown hands and white shoes on her feet. The mother smiled to know her child was in a sacred place, but that smile was the last smile to come upon her face. For when she heard the explosion, her eyes grew wet and wild. She raced through the streets of Birmingham, calling for her child. She clawed through bits of glass and brick, then lifted out a shoe. Oh, here's the shoe my baby wore. But baby, where are you? And that's why Dr. King was standing there a very short time later on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial so that things like this would never happen again. And we're still have to work to make sure things like this don't happen because we still have a long, long way to go. Thank you very much.
Man, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh man, what an amazing group I get to be a part of. Yeah. Okay, you guys show some love. You know how we, yeah. Okay. Next to the stage, we have Vexed Lex. Hey, darling.
Hello. You are looking beautiful tonight. All right. I have two pieces. The first one is called Ancestral. And the epigraph is, in such a ghostly way over the forgotten footsteps of the dead. George Trackle in Hellbrun. Shadows pay homage to a forgotten past. They weep at the atrocities that those left behind will one day endure. We pour into the meadow where our ancestors were once taken, shackled, stripped of their dignities, betrayed by their own. Freedom didn't cost much, just a conscience and a free will. The coldness rattles the creaking bones. No resources at their expense. A dying breed, they clung to their chests. I lie in the garden where flies once feasted on stolen bodies. Ceremoniously, they gathered upon rotting flesh. The wandering crow nips at the already tattered skin. History is recorded by the tormentors, analyzed for miscalculations, and written with the blood of our own. We have come to reclaim the lands that have been saturated with our bodies. We just want to be acknowledged. And my second piece, I have a trigger warning for gun violence. It's called School Soldiers. Mothers and fathers, I ask that you smother your children in as much affection that you can, because they are in a war that they have not been drafted for. Before you send them off to the battlefield, remember to hold them close, since they are soldiers, equipped with books, backpacks, and the latest technology, none of which can arm them against the common enemy. The man who was having a bad day, a bad week, a bad life. The man who has been plotting months in advance, years spent concocting a strategy of how to rid this earth of your boys and girls. Your soldiers go into the war zone containing only the knowledge of how to complete quadratic equations, the distance formula. No amount of math can help them calculate the amount of distance they need to travel to escape the endless spraying of bullets. Plants need sunlight and water. Your son, your daughter, they need to find a way to remove the targets on their backs from the lack of protection they receive. Remember when being a kid meant cunts and bruises? The class clown who amuses all. The tall kid who shoots crumpled up pieces of paper into the garbage from across the class will never grow out of that because their 5th month of school was their last. Their first line of defense, a teacher, a coach, fall victim to the man who seeks to poach the lives of the innocent. A girl who has lost her shot at prom queen, a boy who will never outgrow his teens. Remember when the worst thing about being young was braces, being called metal mouth, not talking to your best friend for a couple of days because of a fight that no one remembers. Your friends are gone. Your children have been erased from this earth because they were forced into a war that they were not drafted for. Thank you.
Man, oh man, for our babies, man. And they're taking COVID tests in the class, and we're just not going to talk about it. But along with everything else they're having to deal with, thank you for that piece. That was, yeah, heck yeah. Appreciate you, bro. Drop whatever you want to drop in the chat. Let us know, how we can follow you, support you. Vex Lex, thank you for being a part of BWOMS community. I see you up in here. Regularly.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, baby. Hell yeah. Okay, next we have to the stage Val Larkin. But forgive me if I said the first name wrong.
Vale.
Vale
You
Larkin.
pronounce the Y.
Get the veil. Got you. Thank you. Take the stage, love.
Thanks. You can find me on Instagram or Linktree at Vale Larkin, all one word. I'm also, I can't accept donations. Solicit your politicians, your local politicians, to institute better policies for disabled people. And also, I will be posting a link to sisterspgh.org/donate, which is a local Black trans femme-led organization that serves the homeless and housing insecure trans community with a focus on Black and POC. And yeah, I'm going to do 2 pieces. Well, one of them is a sequence and one of them is another piece that I've done here before that I just feel like doing again because it's Martin Luther King Day. The first one is entirely self-indulgent because I've had a rough day. Dear Vale, I cannot say that I have often thought of you with love or tenderness before. I know every single mistake that you have made and every time you broke your word, don't I? I saw you lie. I saw when you slashed and lashed out in your fury and broke their hearts with words. I know your jealousy. The way you wish for things that are not yours, are not meant to be yours. I see how you cry when the night comes and wish you were anywhere pain isn't each morning. I know how your mind drifts back to before you were broken and life was meat and blood and real. I see how you put on your faces to show them you're brave when you're not. You never have been. Dear Vale, you are so weak and fearful beneath the shining masks you wear. Will they see you now? Dear Vale, remember when you learned about writing, saw pen in hand for the first time in your life? Do you remember how hard you struggled to make the right marks, to make meaning spring from the page, how you fought your own hands and the shake of your wrists, and those shocks of sensation that sent your scrawl to spinning out of line and logic, into chaos, youth, and helpless silence again? It was a vital need, a bone-deep undertow, pulling your thoughts from your mind like water down to the paper, staining it, then setting those seething ideas loose and not caught, trapped like birds in your skull, battering wings and their claws clashing in your ears. But no, now free. Dear Vale, it isn't true, you know. It isn't. You're not some mythic monster. You're not death. You're just someone fighting upstream all the journey because that's life, that's breath, and you can't stay in one place or body for longer than right now, and now gone. It's all moving and flowing, flying to pieces and reshaping itself. Each split second we hurtle around stars, around black holes. We flow through our universe in millions of ways, and nothing, no nothing, could be the same. You are not lost, because every stream is unknown, unknowable, and you cannot judge your present by your past, because nothing is left where you set it, and neither are you. Mistakes happen. And you try not to make things the same in the future because you know that sameness is death, is the monster at the end of the journey, because life is deep, blind current where we all find our futures in always mysterious ways. Little gods, swimming. Okay. I think I just did this last week, but I kind of wrote it with every activist and marginalized person I've ever known in mind. The mystifying persistence of irrelevant shame. You all want us to. You all love when we stand up and speak out. Such applause behind the scenes, also you don't have to step up or stand out. And your admiration for our strength feels like glass in our chests. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to help. You don't know why I'm bringing all this out and piling it up around us, displayed and arrayed so every detail shines, and we cannot pretend that we just don't know anymore. Sure, it's easy when the syllables flow like liquid miracles, life-giving rhythm and the fucking rush of witnessing pain, passion, and power pumped to 11, because severing truth from excitement makes it so much harder to swallow. So we follow the flock and we scream, shout, and bellow so some part of our voice will ring out in this melee. No one listens when you're tired. Plain words about pain are not bright and exciting, because naked displays of the fragile and frail seem to rouse up our shame, that we walk, that we break and remake, that we see, that we labor in sameness while others walk ranges, blood on the peaks, every leap life-changing. While we stand in the foothills, confused by the pain in our own souls, wondering why they are so much stronger, as though shorter knives matter through such thin feet. Shameless. That's what we must be. Not fearless, never cold in the face of all this heat, all this rabid insanity. Without shame, because shame is like blame. It's condemnation inflamed, and it's what's holding us all back every time we sit out or stand down. Every time we find reasons within for not acting when action is all that will win. When winning is everyone and there are no losers. And we're all in this thing, this planet, this exact same house together. So stand up when it hurts and speak when it burns. Because this is how shame dies, at your feet, silenced by your voice. And slain by the knowledge that you have done something, anything, to resist the destruction.
Oh man. So much love going on in the chat over here. So many beautiful lines in that poem. And addressing our shame, we free ourselves with that, you know? Yeah, thank you so much. That was gorgeous. Appreciate you, dear. If you'd like to put anything there. Oh, you already did. Okay, so thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay, next we have Nick Paleologos.
Jose.
Woo!
Where you at, Lovey?
I'm right over here, PoetCon. What's going
Oh, okay, there
on?
you are. Hi.
Hey, you
Thank
look great tonight. You look gorgeous tonight. I just have to say. I just gotta say.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And I'm appreciative of all of you here. Great work so far from everyone tonight, and I look forward to the rest of the night. So let me hop on into this. We have some new stuff for y'all. Obviously, it's Martin Luther King Day, and I wrote this one today because I don't have a Dr. King poem, which I was shocked by because I've written so much poetry over the span of the pandemic that I don't have a Dr. King poem. So here we go. This one's called for Dr. King, and it's not done yet, but this is what I have. When I think of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I think of I have a dream. Amongst the many achievements, I think long and hard from over 50 years ago to today. We are still so far apart on the issues. Slavery is still legal in the form of prison. I hear you, Dr. King. A dream that all the people have the right to vote and not have to be a 2-hour drive out in the middle of nowhere to get a license and many other inconveniences. To eat clean food, like how 35 million Americans are starving and plenty malnourished, that we can all eat, sustain our energy. Drink clean water, like how Flint had to wait 5 years and the effects are still being felt today. To be able to buy property without discrimination, have proper appraisals too, without having to hide family pictures. The same problems are still here. The same issues are still around. Let's not kid ourselves. These problems already have solutions. The blockades, I mean senators, I mean jackasses, I mean evil beings, I mean racists are in the way of the dream. You know, the kind of dream that not only survives, it thrives, it grows, it never ends. The dream that the burning crosses become trees of life. The kind of dream that no longer Black people are hung from trees, that they are incarcerated for the color of their skin wrongfully, that is, if they aren't shot prior. The kind of dream that a Black person can go off for a run and not be run down. The kind that a Black person can play video games and not get shot. The kind where they can sleep peacefully at night without having to worry about waking up the next day. That kind of dream. The kind of dream that isn't a dream. It's a reality. That's just what I have so far. But all right. So this is another new one, and this goes back to my past and everything, and how people back then messed up my last name and everything. Everyone here is cool and everything, you know? This is just for those people that messed up my last name and mocked it openly. This one's called Reclaiming Not Only My Last Name, but the Ancient Culture. My first name is very easy to pronounce. It's Nick, short for Nicholas. Easy, right? Like the basketball team in New York or Santa Claus, because this poem is about to be like Christmas presents for everyone. When we get to my last name, it seems that we got this slight problem of a simple pronunciation. So say it with me, Paleologos. Pale, like your last name pales in comparison to mine. E-O, as in equal opportunity of catching these words. Logos, like when what your hands grab onto each time you buy something, you sell a little piece of your soul to. I came from once noble bloodline. So I've been told. From Byzantine to present. In present day, people decided to double dribble around my last name, decided to fuck it up for shits and giggles, hoping whistles blow because the refs see no flagrant offense. Oh, you like Greek mythology too? Oh, you do? Don't do me any favors. Go drown in Hades' hellhole. You're not Athena or Poseidon. You're not an oracle. You're not belong on my plateau. You don't deserve your own Parthenon or Pantheon. You do not deserve the stories of our ancient treasures. And you decide to scramble the letters of my last name, my alphabet soup, and vomit it back to me. Don't stew on this too long. It's easier when broken down for you. Then again, I'm not surprised. People can't even get Omicron right, can't even get a Greek letter right. How on earth are you supposed to interpret my story, let alone my last name? If you fail to make the correction, if you won't learn from my last name, what makes you think Greek mythology will teach you anything about me or the culture? I'll tell you what, I learned so much about you when you spewed garbage in my face. And I got one more for y'all, because today was a bit of a rough day for me too. So this one is how to heal wounds through poetry. I heal my wounds with barbed wire and ink, reliving the moments of my life which made me vulnerable. I take to writing to watch those wither with me in pain, rebirth through flames, party on top of stage lights, savor in each breath I take. Take my blood, boil it with potatoes, chop them up, fry it, burn the hot mouse. A good meal fills my voids of sadness with no need to cry away the pain. A group surrounded me, beat me up, tucked bruises behind the makeup I wore, hid behind characters of anime. I hid behind an android so I could feel human again. I hid behind a soul reaper so I could feel alive. I hid behind a Saiyan so I could feel stronger. Moonlight cannot hide me in the shadows. With nowhere to hide, I had to fly with the stars. When you get so high up, you can only flee so far before all the problems come back to drag your shooting star back to Earth. I thought that fleeing would make the pain go away or make it numb. All it did was make the problems worse. I went back to assess the damage. You can only do so much with near destruction. I had to take ink and the very barbed wire that cut my body up, meld it into new steel beams. New person, who is this? That didn't work either. Even if you rebuild a home, it never replaces the old one. Time doesn't heal the wounds. It almost never does. I just grow until it shrinks. I can have all the accolades in the world. I still cannot dress trauma as an award. The bandages I wear are never seen. It merges with my skins. I'll wear it like a tattoo. That's one way how I heal. The other is to exist.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
Nick, out here killing the game.
That was such a beautiful self-reflection piece. I cannot dress trauma as triumph. Okay, drop the mic, walk off the stage, hit the tip jar. I mean, that was just somehow we learn to find the blessing in the pain, or either we let the pain drive us mad. You know what I mean? And poetry helps us do that. If nothing else, you can craft your pain into a beautiful piece. You know, so thank you so much for that, man. That was beautiful.
Thank you for having me, PoetCon. And also for the people on the live stream, you can follow me at The Real Nick P on IG, Facebook, Nick Peo Logos. And you see this thing right behind me right here. This is my book, Ad versus Reaction. Next 10 in the house right here. Going strong, you know, doing our thing and everything. Yeah, if you want to buy it, you can always just message me on there and everything. Also drop my info in there and all the stuff that I have coming up too as well for y'all. Thank y'all for having me. Y'all are awesome.
You the man, Nick.
You the man. You the man's. You the man. Take a man to know a man. And a woman to know a man. Okay, I'm done. All right. Oh man, thank y'all, man. Next we have to the stage La Tormenta. Come on in here, girl. I hope you're still here. I will go find you.
I'm right here.
Are you? Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm better that I'm here with you.
Man, we're here together.
Holding this precious space for us. You're looking fabulous. You always look fabulous, but today you're just looking extra juicy. All right. Again, happy to be here with all of you. I am spitting some new shit. I just finished it. It's inspired by a project that I have coming out very soon. So I'll get to it. I'm really excited if you can't tell. Sweet and sour soul talk. When two poets bear existence for world to see, it be an offering to everything, not wanting them to win everything. Said they were born sin, born a reckoning, unworthy of breathing life into each other like nostalgic lovers with unfinished business. This offering be an unholy matrimony, writing against time, writing against lies. This offering, blossoming lavender fields with sweet and sour stems, men whistling a misstep off key, catapulting a rivalry, soul talk. Don't need no pillow when your ass be this soft, soul talk, leaving trembling mouth, warm, winter no longer exists, bountiful love no longer a risk, no longer something that will get you killed, home no longer filled with outdated principles. This time, disciples are internal. My God is a good God, does not ask us to fear her, but asks us to hear her when fear crawls close, a dose of remembrance. Soul talk requires no form of repentance. We born already forgiven, big-bodied, loud-mouthed, wicked trips to south of baby-making hips, but not before unwinding on honeysuckle lips, dipped in delicate sunflower wings. These moments will never go broke. These hearts, though, will surely be broken open, a faucet dripping pure innocence. This offering, unleashing Bible verses from serpents, ever so certain to have you searching for a better way to live. Give whispers of unerasable pictures, light fixtures on your darkest, hardest nights. This offering, a fight of sweet, sour, and savory words, less concerned with opinions, more focused on purpose, parting ways with tight braids of lack, of suffering, of self-sabotaging, of criminalizing our birthright to thrive, to rewrite history. This offering no longer be menaced, mystery, no longer be land of make-believe. This body no longer colony. So get your dusty ass hands off me. Soul talk puts some silky swag in your walk. For all wars we fought, this is where we rest. This is where I rise for a poet whose hands be bold enough to hold me. Soul talk, dare come back and ask for more. Thank you. I love you guys.
Dang, that's what we doing. All right, I see you. I see you.
Show the poets some
Okay.
love.
Not bad, not bad. Good job, good job, good job.
Yeah, wow. Wow, that was beautiful. It was such a transfer in energy of to awareness of what we have and what we are, the abundance. That's beautiful. You put that in such a poetic, prophetic, tormentor kind of way. Thank you, Barry. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you so very much. It's so good to see you. Heck yeah. Next we have to the stage, Ron Mark Thompson.
Well,
darling.
hey, Poet Khan, how are you? Looking great. Love the hairdo. I love it.
Thank you, darling. So glad you're here with us.
Thank you. I didn't know you were the host today, so glad to see you here. Yay! And I just want to say something. And Richie, please allow me. I hope I'm not getting banned from BWOMS, but there was a discussion earlier about pronouns, and I just want to speak up for all the people like me because people mess up my name all the time. It doesn't matter how many times I spell it, with all the different things. And I'm one of the ones who sometimes mixes up pronouns. And I'm queer, so I should know and I should be extra careful being in that, marginalized community myself. But I still get it wrong. And it's not a sign of disrespect. It's just that my brain is sometimes mixed up and I'm learning. And like sometimes one thing I couldn't forgive, if you have it in the Zoom display name, then yes, you should know better. However, Zoom only shows you up to a certain amount of letters. So what they did earlier, they put they and them in the front, and that actually helped because that way, okay, now there is no excuse to get it wrong. But regardless, please forgive us. We're all trying our best. I sometimes forgive racists because racists sometimes haven't been exposed to different races, and I give them a benefit of the doubt sometimes that be with other people, be in other neighborhood, live, have friends. Now, if you still are racist after this, then okay, then I'm not gonna forgive you anymore. But at least expose yourself, So, and pronouns, I blame the English language. Why don't we just start using one pronoun for all of us, no matter what gender we are? Wouldn't that make my life easier? But until such time, we'll just have to learn and be very careful. So that was my little rant, forgive me if I'm the one-on-one. It is Martin Luther King Day. Poet Khan, the speech that you read from him, so powerful, so good that you did that. I don't have a Martin Luther King poem, but I do give service, which I would think so, to my community, because for the last 2.5 years, I have volunteered at Bronx Art and Fun Hub. I have not made any money whatsoever. I'm giving my own time out of pocket. I give workshops for the community, stage plays. Yesterday, we did a great stage play reading with Camlin Tenbaby. Please support her at The Word is Right. I'm going to put it in the chat afterwards, where you can, find her and see her show. This week, you heard Nick and Liz earlier today. They, together with me, will be hosting a workshop this Thursday on how to host a workshop. So if you want to get as good as Poet Khan, as good as Richie, as good as Kit, if you want to learn the tips and tricks, come to our workshop. The link is in the chat. It's free. Again, we're giving this, for free for the community because we want you to thrive just as much as, we do. So thank you for listening to me. I'm going to read a kind of a prose poem that I read this past Saturday at the New Regan Poets Cafe on stage in person in Manhattan. And but I changed 2 paragraphs for you because Camden actually taught me yesterday that every venue you go to, whether it's a stage play or poem, you should change it up a little bit and make it specific, exclusive for them. So I changed a few paragraphs. So my prose is about circle of life. Because, we are born, we live, we die, this constant circle. But I'm like wondering, what about my own circle? Did I circle or will I circle back to where I started from? Well, let me start from the beginning. I grew up in East Germany, working class. We didn't have a car, we didn't have a telephone, no color TV, a very tiny children's room. Then I came to the United States when I was 19. I started a job cleaning toilets for $1 an hour. I was happy earning that money. I worked myself up the ladder, made it into the office, became a computer tech, worked at a nonprofit. Then I worked at a bank, Wall Street, 15 years. I was middle class, still didn't have a car. You kind of don't need one in New York. But I could afford a phone, I could afford vacations, personal training sessions, you name it. Then 6 years ago, I was laid off. My job was outsourced overseas. And now I make very little with freelancing and consulting. So I'm back to working class, back to where I used to be when I was young. But this unintended circle of life, it's okay, because even though financially I'm struggling, I'm happy. And I think that's more important than having money. Let me tell you about another circle of my life, my eyesight. When I was a child in school, I couldn't see the chalkboard. I had to wear eyeglasses. And you know, as cute as eyeglasses look these days, as a kid, it doesn't matter what, parents tell you, like, no, I don't want eyeglasses, but I had no choice. When I arrived in New York City, I wore contact lenses for a little bit, but that got tiring, putting them in, washing them, so eventually I got LASIK surgery in 2000, and for the past 20 years I could see, not 20/20 vision, but enough to get through life. Then a year ago I noticed I couldn't read the pill bottle and the small writing anymore. Like, what the heck, did they just make it printed smaller and smaller? And then, a few months ago, I couldn't even read my own poems anymore. So now, you don't see it, but on my screen, it's like, big font size so I can read it. And now I'm wearing reading glasses again. So guess what? I'm circling back to where I started from. I don't know. Another circle of life. As a kid, I looked so. I didn't have muscles. I was very thin. Then when in my 20s, I started eating the wrong things. My cholesterol was super high. I mean, I was shocked. I almost had a heart attack. But I got it down, worked out, got myself a personal trainer when I still could afford one, went to the gym. Okay, we all know pandemic happened. Now I have no money to pay, any personal trainer. I don't have any motivation. There is a fitness room right on the first floor in my apartment building. Do you think I go there? Nope, I just walk by there. I don't know. I need some motivation. But now I have a belly, but I'm hiding it. You're only seeing my upper half. You're welcome. Okay. All right. Talking about looks, when I was young in East Germany, for those of you who may not know communist East Germany, there was no fashion sense. If we had pants and shirts, that's all we had. We had food, that's what was enough. In my 20s and 30s, I tried to wear nice clothes. At the bank I worked, you had to dress up, you had no choice, but hey, now we're back in the pandemic. Am I wearing sweatpants? Of course. I'm wearing shorts right now. I'm not even wearing shoes. I'm wearing socks, so hey, when I go out, when you saw me at the New Regan Post Cafe on Saturday, I try my best. I look somewhat presentable, but guess what? I cannot wait till I'm in my 70s or 80s, because by then I don't care what I look like anymore. So F off, everyone, I don't care. It's like F the fashion, it's like, I don't know who came up with fashion. Talking about living, after I left my parents' home, I moved into a small room in New York City in the Bronx as a boarder roommate. Then I found my own small studio with a terrace, which is unusual in New York, in Kingsbridge in the Bronx. I lived there for 15 years. Got a little bit cramped after a while, but was okay. A few years ago, I moved into a 1-bedroom up the hill, had more money. Oh, it was great. Now I have my own small living room and I have a Christmas tree. And guess what? It's staying there all year long. I don't care what you think. My Christmas tree, I'm leaving it in my living room. Excuse me, that's just, I love it. But as many of you know, the rents and prices in New York City are kind of crazy. And I think in a few years, I'm going to have to move back to a studio, maybe a roommate, or who knows, maybe I'll move back into my parents' small apartment in Germany. Now that would be a true completion of the circle of my life. Wouldn't that be something, Okay, I could give you many more examples, but I know we have time limits. So how about I tell you that even circle of life rules can be broken, in my opinion. Let me tell you one. For example, I was very unhappy in my childhood. I ran away from home. That's another story for another open mic. I tried to leave Earth a few times during my 20s. Oh yes, I tried hard, but God didn't want me for some reason, so I don't know. Since then, I have gotten more at my peace for myself. I have gotten many more friends, and by friends, I mean quality friends, real friends in real life, just like you guys here in Zoom. Not just on social media, but we meet in Zoom, we talk, some of us meet in person, we can confide into each other, we go to different events online. I can be brave to tell you about me, I get inspired. So that circle of life will not be a circle of life because I am not circling back to my sorry self I used to be. Sorry. And on that note, like I usually do, some of you know, something that I also didn't do when I was younger, because I didn't write poems when I was young. I started, I didn't write essays, I didn't do stage plays, I just started a few years ago, and I'm going to keep doing that until the day I die. So F the circle of life, I am not going back to where I started from. So on that note, something that I also didn't do when I was young, I'm going to do a poem. I'm going to wish that you enjoyed my story here tonight. I hope that you continue to write. I wish, please don't fight. I want you to be all right. And as always, I want you to be shiny and warm and bright. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me. I appreciate you.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I love that. Prose is, yes, we do prose. Heck yeah. Show some love, guys. Yeah, yeah. Woo, 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 woo. Heck yeah, yeah. That was, yeah, we do the prose, man. And that's such a beautiful concept. I'm gonna dabble into that because there's the circle of life you mentioned, how things come around full circle and how some things don't. I really love that. That was great. Thank you, Ron.
And we have the power to let them go back to where we started. So thank you for mentioning this, Poet Khan, right? Appreciate it.
Right. Especially if it's good for us, And then we also have the power to cut things off, to not let it circle back, So heck yeah, that was great. Heck yeah. Thank you, Ron. Next to the stage, we have Enigma. Enigma, are you here? Okay, all right. Okay. Patty's coming in the room. I just got excited. That's my darling. That's my other darling. Anyway, okay. Next we have, apologize for that. Next we have Lee to the mic. Lee, bless us, darling.
Hello. All right, so I have something old, something new, something borrowed back again. So I'll start with that. First is something old. This has no title. First in Spanish, then in English. Te conocí sin conocerme y basé mi identidad alrededor tuyo. Lo llamé amor, enfermizo, ficticio, obsesivo y pasaba mi tiempo esperando tu llegada para comenzar a existir. Lo creí un fuego, calcinante, agobiante, consumiendo todo a su paso, y me sentí cenizas en los momentos de lucidez, nunca suficiente, incendiando rápidamente ante las flamas. Ocurríamos en extremos, cenizas o incendio, calcinándonos en el tiempo en el que éramos, desvaneciéndonos en los espacios en los que no. Al finalizar el siniestro, creí haber terminado con nada. Regresé a mis cenizas e intenté hacerlas leña. Un último intento de reconstruir los parámetros necesarios para existir como te conocí. Creí necesitarte para entenderme, para existir aunque fuesen extremos, bajo condiciones y compulsiones que me siguiesen atrayendo a ti, cual leña al fuego. Me equivoqué, y fueron años los que tardé en reencenderme, reusar mis restos para alimentar mis llamas, incendio controlado para restaurarme y posiblemente tomar nueva forma, toda mía y sin tu influencia. Te dije adiós cuando apenas sabía de mí y justifiqué mi escape al advertir los escombros que dejaron nuestras flamas. Fuiste garabatos al pie de unas pocas de mis páginas. I met you without knowing myself, and I designed a persona around your ideas. I called it love, sickening, fictitious, obsessive, and spent my time waiting for your arrival just so I could begin to exist. I thought it fire, smoldering, overwhelming, consuming everything before it. And I fancied myself ashes on those few moments of clarity, never enough, burning as soon as I was before your flames. We existed in extremities, ashes or fire, blazing in those moments when we were, vanishing on the places when we were not. When the chaos ended, I thought I had lost it all. I returned into ashes and tried in vain to make them kindling. A last attempt at restoring these factors I needed to exist just as you had met me. I thought I needed you to understand myself, to exist even on the margins of these polar opposites, under conditions and compulsions that kept pulling me towards you, just like kindling to a flame. I was mistaken, and years went by until I was able to reignite, reusing my remains to feed my flames, a controlled fire so I could restore myself and hopefully take new shape, all my own, far from your influence. I said goodbye to you when I barely began to know myself, and justified my escape by pointing at the debris that our fire left behind. Your name was but a footnote on just a few of my pages. That was one. And then this is new. This past Saturday, we had Space Dragon coming over on Tumbleworks, and it was a really good workshop. So this is generating from that workshop. And this is titled Everyone Knew Except for You. Am I a lesbian? 13-year-old me stood under the warm, then cold, then warm again stream of water, struggling with the handle so it would not scorch the skin or freeze me again. My body ignored the finally regulated temperature as I felt a heat wave shower over me, red face, burning ears, queer panic. I thought of the softness of her hips, how sweet her lips must taste, her luscious long hair tangled on my fingers, and her smile, followed by a cool head as I concluded, but I like boys. I can't be one. 13-year-old me ran head first into the point being the big Q word I did not know of yet, and still missed it. You like horror movies, football, pop punk, and write poetry. You can't cook, you can't do makeup, and can't relate to the construct of femininity. Face it, you were never cisgender. I don't want to hear it. I just want to show these cishet boys performing their budding, blooming, toxic masculinity that I can run faster, I can take a punch, that I am stronger, and I'm not like the other girls. And that's because you were not a girl, you oblivious pick-me piece of shit. In retrospective, the signs were all there, but to allow myself to be myself, I had to escape across the border, a fugitive attempting to sever all ties tethering me to these cages made to contain me. That was the second one. And I actually cannot find the borrowed one, so I'm gonna read another new one. This is called Living Room, same from the workshop at Tumbleworks this past Saturday. The ghost that haunted each one of us would lay sprawled across couches we were not supposed to sit on, out in the open, a family gathering of sorts as each of them discussed our hauntings, bonding over the generational trauma they inflicted, a respite after days upon days of hiding in the darkened corners behind closed doors. We sat in hued blue darkness projected onto our faces, two bodies sitting as far away from each other on the couch no one was supposed to sit on, hiding under comfort blankets turned fortress of solitude, TV playing the static nostalgia of dog pelts turned to dog coats and puppy fears and puppy tears as they hid from the threat. A distraction for me so I would not interrupt your faraway thoughts, glazed eyes staring into nowhere, nothing, somewhere else. A distraction so you did not have to bond with the child craving your attention, so we could wait quietly for Puppy to come back to the house and make it a home. But I pushed, breaking the artificial calmness with a stuffed toy pushed to your face, like stuffed feelings and stuff I love yous I later learned to stuff back inside of me, so your hand would not be pushed against my flesh in retaliation. And that's it.
Ooh, man.
We out here spitting bars.
Tell it.
Out here barring.
That second,
Barring.
that second piece,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Yeah, man.
So
We
good.
know we know really young who we are in a world that's telling us represent Richie. Woo, 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 woo.
I'm seeing Rishi and Ron Mark also. Thank you so
How
much.
freaking awesome. Okay, we are gonna yes. I've been wanting your book too. Heck yeah. But I appreciate you sharing your story with us. And yeah, they were beautiful, beautiful pieces. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. And you can follow me, look me up on Facebook because it's just easier. It's Lee Martinez Soto. And I'll share my links over here on the chat. Thank you.
Man, so many great lines. Especially that I was waiting. I waited to live, waited till you came to live. It was something along those lines. That was like, oh, when a poet says something and it's for you, you know what I mean? All right. Anyway, next to the stage. Oh, thank you, Lee. Thank you so much. Great set, baby. Next to the stage, we have Nico Kim. Might get a little song, hopefully. Get a poem or two. Nico. I'm very excited. Hi, Nico, darling. It's been tell him, Richie. It's been 2 forevers. What?
Hey guys, it's been a bit. It's been a good minute. I'm sorry.
No apologies. Just glad to see you.
I have no excuses that I have nothing for Martin Luther King Day. I just came out and I thought these were some cool things to share. So the first thing I'm going to share is from Silk Sonic. So I was determining which song I was going to do, but I'll do Skate. I'm not going to sing the whole song, just the song I think is the part that I think is cool, and then I'll get into the poems. So Skate, Silk Sonic, they're really new. It's Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. I think they're really cool. They Bootsy Collins, he made the name. Anyway, really cool band. Really cool sound. I think you guys, if you've not heard of them, you should check them out. Silk Sonic. Whoa, my, oh my. In a room full of dimes, you would be $100 if being fine was a crime. Girl, they like a little fine ass up in a tower. The way you move, the way you do, oh, it's like you do it for a living. Do a little spin, do it again, shit. It's like you're playing for the win, oh baby. I wanna roll, I wanna ride. I wanna float, I wanna glide. Oh, that was bad. Okay, I'm done. That was very bad. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That was great.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
It's
hey, man,
been a minute.
Hey man, that's what's up, bro. That was dope. That was dope.
That kind of pressure will keep you from coming back, because I haven't been in so long and all that. You don't have to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Like, no pressure. We know we out here living in everything that's going on, You showed up tonight, you ripped for us, and we appreciate you. And that's, you know what I mean?
I don't know why I wasn't finished. I have 3 poems.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, though.
No, it's cool. You just won't see my face because I don't have these memorized. And I'm using my phone to be on Zoom. So, sorry. All right. I'm not understanding what this chick is trying to tell me. In one moment, she sees me as a friend, but then the next she talks like she's trying to smash pelvic. Early morning revelry followed by a belt. I'm just gonna restart because I just fucked everything up, and I'm just very upset at myself. Okay, I'm not understanding what this chick is trying to tell me. In one moment, she sees me as a friend, but then the next she talks like she's trying to swell pelvic. Early morning revelry followed by a belly pistol 21 gun salute, shooting ropes in hopes to find love from the dopamine fix. I don't know if this constitutes as flirting or projecting or hurting soul. I've been skirting the karmic toll of cleaning up my own mess. Thus, I try to find another's mind as they unwind and undress to reign supremacy over my focus. For my short attention span, my foe cussing at the minutes as it gets distracted by the secondhand lovers I've relegated myself to. The slump of being in the dump with all the other 2 hump chumps. The only reason my heart thumps is to send blood to my not yet erected love muscle. Number 2. I'm done with peace symbols and Woodstock music. They only dug me deeper, so I decided I could not do it any longer. Weakened by weekend complacency, mongering laziness with currency measured in grams, my lexicon and grammar are beginning to be hammered away by stoned nights. So hold tight. It's about time I paid the devil its due. And the last one. This is the longest one. It's not very long though. Big yikes. Sick moves, bro. Sick as fuck, Nico. Now I need to blow steam and smoke rings, smoke hope-stoked fire. I went for broke and learned that hope only brings a result. It's just this wasn't the one I wanted. Daunted by my own damn self-doubt. I guess I'm just desperate looking for help out of my mind. A continuous distraction to bring me back down to earth. I'm way too damn spacey. I guess I just like looking at things from an elevated state. Montana? It makes it seem like I've relegated my latest emotions to the stasis of winter, frozen. And I suppose in the time it takes to thaw away the foggy smoke in my mind today while I get to clearing the slush and laying a ridiculous amount of salt down instead of having a meltdown when I can't find my direction, the only action that heed my correction would be that I would just need to plow on because you can't paint roads with snow on them. Thanks, guys.
Y'all give it up for Nico one time.
Good job, Nico, man. Good job.
Great work. It's great to hear from you again, Nico. Miss you. Miss you lots.
And the voice is everything in your poems, and you're magnificent. Thank you so much for coming through tonight.
Appreciate everybody.
Heck yeah. Next we have to the stage Nico Diaz. So that's like some Nico twins right here. Just want to bring that. Are you here, Nico Diaz? Okay, I apologize. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on. Next we have the other part of the Jersey Trinity, Miss, right? Let me make sure it's updated. Okay, we have Miss Terry Rose. There you are.
Hello.
Hey, darling. You take the
How
mic.
are you?
Ready. I'm well. So glad to see you tonight. Go, Terry. Let's go.
I have 2 poems that I wrote about my dog because it's her birthday today. So I'm going to read Violet, birthday poem 2022. I took a picture of my doggie with her tongue hanging out. She looks cute that way. I read somewhere that dogs learn behaviors that elicit responses from humans, even a smile. Yes, my dog knows how to work me. I am her person. Violet turned 6 years old today. I worry that her time will end before I am ready. This bitch has found her way from the pound to my heart. Dogs love their owners unconditionally. We can learn a lot from them. And then I have one for MLK Day. Another holiday to commemorate another brave hero who spoke out against injustice and paid for it by being murdered, cut down in the prime of life, speaking truths too hard to hear for those who did the crime. This story is all too familiar. Are we numb? Dumb? Can we not see how history keeps repeating itself? Is it the rule of fate that we are doomed to repeat the lesson until it is learned? From the looks of things, we have learned nothing. My dream is that we will wake from this nightmare. And the last one for my dog, Violet. If I gave my dog a cookie, it would not be a Fig Newton because figs cause diarrhea in dogs. If I gave Violet a cookie, it would have to be one of her doggy biscuits because I know I could get her to do pretty much anything for that cookie. I would give my dog a cookie after I checked the ingredients for safety. I would ask Google, if it was safe. Upon finding out that Fig Newtons are off limits, I would quickly pop it into my mouth to avoid her snatching it more quickly than my eyes can perceive to avoid another costly trip to the emergency room. If I gave my dog, if I gave my dog a fig Newton. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Kisses to the
I still
puppy.
have my Christmas tree up here.
It's beautiful. I was just ranting about it in the chat. Heck yeah, it's beautiful. And you just had a birthday recently?
Yeah, my birthday was 2 days or 3 days before my dog's.
Oh, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Thank
It's
you so
cold
much.
here, freezing.
Yeah, y'all got all the snows just happening over there. You know,
I'm freezing my butt off.
all my East Coast friends are like, "You ain't got no snow, Con." I'm like, "Yeah, we're in the desert, man. Quit that. Quit that." There's rocks out there, and they're hot. Anyway, all right. Thank you, love. Thank you so much.
You want some snow? We'll send some snow to you.
Send some snow, man. Y'all have enough to send, though. Really,
We got plenty.
Snow. I want some snow. We usually get like one good day, and dang it, you better take a bunch of pictures, and that's it. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Okay. So I checked the room for Amaru, Ame. I didn't see her. This person, forgive me. So I just wanted to say it one time to make sure I didn't. Okay. All right. And then I think I didn't see Stephen Bland also. Mr. Stephen, are you here? No? Okay. All right. So next we're coming back to the desert to listen to our amazing, awesome Mr. Monday Night himself, Kid Reed. Come on down to the stage, darling. Woo, 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 woo. So glad to have you here tonight.
All right, let me just take my mute off, put myself on spotlight. There I am. There I am. There all you are. Dual monitors, never going back. Okay, two of mine and the cover. I'm excited about the cover. I haven't done it in a while. It's one I like. But we'll get to that later. I'm doing the thing where I mumble again. Oh shit, I gotta stop that. Okay. I am not sure if writers have the power they claim, but I think we must claim it to give us the motivation to finish and the bravado to force people to look. But we cannot control what people see when they look. At our best, we are comically explicit warning signs. It's ridiculous that we're needed at all. Please leave the swords in their display. Please do not feed the bears. Come on. Please. I read an interview with a park ranger who said, with the good humor of someone who truly loves their job, that the problem with dumpsters near campsites is that the smartest bear is better at spatial reasoning than the dumbest human. So it is with writing for a cause. The most graspable, immediate, bloody pieces get carried away by bears to mean what the bears want. And the bears only want food. If it is intricate and sly and completely fully realized, both humans and bears will give up and try the next dumpster. Don't misunderstand me. I love this shit. I don't care if nobody ever picks this lock. I'm not about to quit and become a welder. It is good to write. It is necessary to write. I don't know about power, but there is purpose. There should be a record of our failures. There should be a vision of the future that leaches the color out of the present. We should never be allowed to think that this is the best we can do. Okay, next one is also me. You've all heard it before. The Andromedan delegation, Cocksure and Azure, is optimistic ahead of the first truly representative Miss Universe competition. The betting markets do not share that optimism. Khalil Arkanamit has a bipedal build and a striking bright blue face. She has been celebrated for her bravery in Teen Vogue, in a feature piece with patronizing overtones that may have hardened her modesties into an actual scowl. There is a sizable Tumblr/Fit community around her. And while her tweets are bitter and hostile, that's what plays best on Twitter. There's a question that Earth's media has breezily skipped over that Clelar asks her agent, her handler, and her politician brother. Why the fuck do I have to prove myself to these pink and brown gawkers? Her agent tells her the money. Her handler tells her the exposure. Her brother rambles on incoherently, something about Andromedan pride and intergalactic harmony, which sounds to her like a flat-out contradiction. She isn't lonely or forsaken. She even has some advantages over you and me, but some people don't even like redheads. Join me, please, in saying a soft and hopeful prayer for Clelar as she faces down this planet's insensate drive to make everything look like us. And for the cover, in the spirit of the day, I chose from the late Jamaican writer June Jordan, a personal favorite, I Must Become a Menace to My Enemies. Dedicated to the poet Agostinho Neto, President of the People's Republic of Angola, 1976. 1. I will no longer lightly walk behind the one of you who fear me. Be afraid. I plan to give you reasons for your jumpy fits and facial tics. I will not walk politely on the pavements anymore, and this is dedicated in particular to those who hear my footsteps or the insubstantial rattling of my grocery cart, then turn around, see me, and hurry on. Away from this impressive terror I must be. I plan to blossom bloody on an afternoon surrounded by my comrades singing terrible revenge in merciless, accelerating rhythms. But I have watched a blind man studying his face. I have set the table in the evening and sat down to eat the news. Regularly, I have gone to sleep. There is no one to forgive me. The dead do not give a damn. I live like a lover who drops her dime into the phone just as the subway shakes into the station, wasting her message, canceling the question of her call, fulminating or forgetful, but late and always after the fact that could save or condemn me. I must become the action of my fate. 2. How many of my brothers and sisters will they kill before I teach myself retaliation? Shall we pick a number? South Africa, for instance, do we agree that more than 10,000 in less than a year, but that less than 5,000 slaughtered in more than 6 months will? What is the matter with me? I must become a menace to my enemies. 3, and if I ever let you slide, who should be extirpated from my universe, who should be cauterized from Earth completely, law and order jerk-offs of the first of the terrorist degree, then let my body fail my soul in its bedeviled lecheries. And if I ever let love go, because the hatred and the whisperings become a phantom dictate I obey, in lieu of impulse and realities, the blossoming flamingos of my wild mimosa trees, then let love freeze me out. I must become a menace to my enemies.
Wow. Y'all give it up for kids.
Woo!
Come on, man.
Mr. Monday Night with the 2-lane green wave right there.
Yeah.
I see that.
Heck yeah. Yeah, heck yeah, man.
And real quick, just so I wanted to sign off. Instagram at KitRenAway, Twitter Kit Talk Sports, Kofi.com/KitRen, Facebook, PayPal. You know that. You know that. Anyway.
Heck yeah. We know how to find Kit y'all, you know what I mean? And if nothing else, you'll be here on Monday night. Heck yeah, great set, kid. You're just a profound reader, writer. You're just, you know, you're a great performer. Heck yeah, love. You're a treat. I enjoy you. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're moving on here. Next we have we're gonna go back to the snow, right? To the snow. I'm waiting on my box of snow in the mail from my East Coast peeps. I'm kidding. This is well, next we have to the stage Ed Poetastic.
Because you made me feel fantastic. I give you, if I can, I'll give you so much snow so everyone could bask in your glow. All right. Hope everyone's ready for some fun. Hope everyone's ready for some fun underneath the moon or the sun. The fun has just begun. My name is Ed Poetastic. Hope everyone fantastic. Please get in the time so you can join my rhyme for all you feel sublime. Okay, I got 6 jokes and 3 poems, so you know they're gonna rhyme. Why did the platypus quit his job? He was having an identity crisis. Why was Smokey angry at the Native American? He did too many smoke signals. Why was a cowboy always late? He only wakes up at high noon. What did the bowling pin say to his girlfriend? Looks like it's time for us to split. Why did the dentist was so scared of the shark? Because his jaws. And why was the snowman a great reporter? He always had, why was the snowman a great reporter? He was always chilled and gotten the great scoops. Okay. All right, I got my first piece, to say the least. This is called Pitch Black Unity. A mighty wise man once said he had a dream, an eternal legacy flowing like a rushing stream. It's more powerful to take a large brick than to hold a gun. It shows more strength to be an iron wall than a mock sun. African-American freedom fighters that are departed but not forgotten, their lively spirits leave our beating hearts less rotten. Their fearless sacrifice hasn't been tarnished or in vain. Good as know they suffer from barky ignorance, whipped stupidity, and biased reign. In their last dying breaths, they never cursed, bellow, or raised with ill wills. Their heroic impact gave the hooded phantoms deep panic, fears, and chills. Our ancestors were bound in rusty, rattling, and clinging chains. Their ironclad determination helped us deal with the isolating pains. They suffer in agonizing darkness to bring us into the painless light. Some of you carelessly toss it away and hunger for spite. The unforeseen burns of backstabbing by ignorant whites and even against ourselves. Yet people keep forgetting that book on the shelves. It's not easy being a big black ink blot on a white canvas, trying to get this rage and stress off our roaring chests. Fighting, shouting, killing like blinded guns isn't the answer. It just spreads the venomous river of hate so much faster. Hate never loves, but only exterminates and destroys. People be mindful that we're human beings, not mindless toys. Bitter vengeance is a dish left to serve freezing cold. Is it really satisfied to deliver punishment sevenfold? It's easy to build instead of burning bridges. Everyone knows it's better to heal than to dig ditches. It doesn't matter if you're red, black, or white. Let's bury the hatchet and fight the good fight. There's strength in numbers, so let's become an enormous radiant sun. Let's make our voices, struggles, and powers as one. Black history isn't supposed to be celebrating just 1 month. Let's give ancient white bigotry one big, massive dynamite punch. All right, I got one more. Oh my kidding, I got 2 more. This other one is called What They Say About You. What they say about me, I really don't care. Names are in labels, they're not here or there. Labels don't instantly disable, they'll wallow in dark despair. Know what some say about MLK and Gandhi? It really wasn't pleasant or nice. They help on a deep, passionate degree, even for a painful price. People need to understand, words are only words. They can be either iron or sand. Don't be too disturbed. They can't command or demand. When someone said anything bad about you, pay them no thought or mind. They don't know what you do. Leave their dark clouds behind. Get lost in your ventures in your view. Do not mind them. Be aligned while they stay blind. They don't control your fate. Can't push your buttons or pull your strings. Let them bask in their self-hate. Pursue your unique golden wings. We can all relate. Your life is whatever you create. All right, got one more tour for an encore, and this forevermore. This is called Gray Eyes. Love your color. Please don't hate. Love it as your sister, mother, or brothers. Stop the minds debate. We need one another. Some minds need an update. We're thrown in the slaughter. Under our skin, we can relate. Accept us just like clear water. It's like the brownies you ate. Please don't turn into a monster that would demolish the state. The American way, you imposter. This wasn't so great. Please, no more poor corpses on altars. Only you can blind your fate. Don't be front news for the reporters. Ignorance is a state of mind, not a trait. Stop with these pointless inner borders. All the ignorance and hate, you'll stay overweight. Please don't be someone murderer, but a supporter. Love and acceptance, a more peaceful life awaits. Thank you.
Woo! That was some wisdom in that last one. Heck yeah, always full of, laughter is wisdom. But yeah, wow. Thanks, Ed. Heck yeah, though. Great set, yeah, baby. Heck yeah. And your floetic joy and flow is all we know, and it keeps us warm in the snow. All right, here we go. Ha!
Oh. I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah, showing you some love, man. We appreciate all the different personalities, please be you every time you come, Yeah, and just showing you love, baby. Thank you so much for being awesome.
Thank you.
Heck yeah. Okay, next we got to the stage. I am so excited to hear from this poet. He dropped his book this last year. He's part of Next 10. And we're going to pray to the Zoom gods. It's going to work out fine. Everything's going to just go smoothly. Yes, it is. And coming up to the mic, we have the author of The Voices of the Fallen, Mr. Wordsmith Philly. Woo, 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 woo.
Yo. What's up? How y'all doing? Man, wow. Feels good to be back, I must say. Man. Sorry, I'm a little lost for words right now. It just feels good to see everybody again, man. That's all.
So good to see you.
Man, this is it's beautiful. It's beautiful feeling. So I have a poem for you. I got one poem. It's called Let's Just Be Honest. All right, one moment. Just a little bigger. All right. Let's just be honest. I want to tell you how I want you. I want to tell you how I want you. I want you to feel my words leave my body as they wrap around us with honesty. I want you to feel my words like a pain started from whimsical banter mixed with punchline comedy. I want you. I want to tell you that I love you. My intentions are clear, near and dear, but my actions follow far behind. The vibe of like are in the air, but not in vision, like wind chills in the sky. I'm down for whatever, but I am so unclear when I say it. I want to get to know you better and give you love and enjoy the times when we make it. But instead, I'm in my head, and I tend to listen to thoughts of awkwardness while I turn dates into interviews. I want you, and I want to love you. I want to say what I feel, but feelings keep me stuck. I want my kiss to give you chills from my love, not my lust. I want to grow with you and build a relationship. I want more than just sex, but my fear is just making it hard for me to confidently confide my futuristic intentions of making you my lady one day. Love is something I've never had, so it's missing. I need you in order to just be. I want to feel free like a bird perched on a street lamp or a stray dog trotting on the concrete. I want to make you smile like a new cobbler witnessing a shoe they made placed on their idol's feet. I want you, but my intentions and my actions don't match at all when it comes to us. I wanted to be honest with you. I'm sorry if this just came off as rough, but this was the only way that I could truly be honest. I want you, but more than that, I just want us. Thank you.
Next 10 in the house.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Hey, Lovey, you wanna read us something from your book?
Yeah, hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Yes. And that we're narrowing down the list here. We have
Hold on.
two more people closing us out, so we can totally get some of
Drop
this
something.
book
Hold on. Hold on now.
and let us see it. Let us see the book.
Oh, wait. You want to see it? You want to see
Show
it?
us the
Oh,
book.
you talking about this book right here? It's like, oh yeah, you see it. You see it.
Yes,
You
read
see
us one of
it.
those poems, Lovey.
You see it. You see it. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Let's see. I will be reading a poem from my book, Voices of the Fallen. There you go. See that right there? All right. So I will give you a poem. Here we go. Let's see. Dang, I ain't read this one in a while. Here we go. It's like the first one I wrote. All right, this one's called Through Her Eyes. So here we go. She was forced to watch her worst nightmare. She tells herself it isn't real, but her heart just makes her stare. It isn't right. It's the worst. And it's unfair. But evil around her doesn't try to care. They just keep feeding the animal of her worst fear, watching the event unfold while she bathes in her tears. Why are they so mean? Why are they doing this? The question she asks herself as the events unfold get more ruthless. She wants it to end, or better yet, never to have started. But she just cries because the pain is so real and she's brokenhearted. They broke into the neighborhood looking for colored folks, swinging their guns and knives and torches and pitchforks. She ran as fast as she could as her brother dragged her to safety. He's been growing up so fast and became a man over time lately. So he knew what time it was when it came to them. He just wanted his younger sister to be all right in these events that are turning grim. So they ran through the woods and climbed trees and blocked trails, confused the dogs and covered their tracks and hid in hay bales. But eventually they were caught, or should I say, he was, because he told her to hide because he knew what time it was. He dusted off his shirt and ran into the battle like a true man, only to be beaten tortured and have his limbs stretched far beyond his wingspan. Now, after she hid, she began to run away, avoiding the issue, but escaping the mob every day, till that fateful day when her nightmare began as she bumped into his body swinging from a tree. And all she could do was sit there, frozen, as the mob ran and ran. But she couldn't believe the image her eyes let her see, shaking with fear and anger, sadness, her knees weak from the wear and tear. She couldn't do anything but just stop and stare. She couldn't do anything but just cry and stare. She couldn't do anything but cry and stare. Thank you.
By Wordsmith's book. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. Hold on. Let me burp the baby. Wait, I gotta burp the baby.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Let me change the diaper real quick. I gotta change this diaper. Hold on. I gotta change the diaper on the baby.
Yeah.
All right. Gotta change. All right. We're good. All right. I'm gonna put you down.
Yeah.
Go back to sleep. Back to sleep. Yeah, usually when I read the poems and stuff, I gotta put the baby back to sleep as it gets crazy, you know.
That's the baby, man. Heck
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And I want to, we should, read from our books as much as we can. Sometimes we're like, oh, I'm always reading my book. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why you wrote it, so you
Oh
can
yeah.
read it.
Yeah.
So don't feel do that shit.
Oh yeah.
So heck yeah. Awesome. Thank you, love. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, honestly. Thank you. It feels good to be back here. Yeah, man. That's all I can say. It just feels good to be back, man. It's cool. This is
It
awesome.
feels good for me to be back too. Heck, I'm glad to be back. This is home. Heck yeah. So
Yes, indeed.
this is where a lot of us started in the beginning of the pandemic, So heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we narrowing down the night here. We are going to, let me make sure this person is in the building. Mr. Yes. We are going to have Mr. Tezozo Moke come to the stage to bless us with his poetry, hopefully a little bit of guitar, but if not, no pressure. But yes, please come to the stage. Take the mic when you're ready, dear. So great to see you.
Good to see you, Khan. I have two pieces, and then I'll have a song. All right, this first piece is titled Battle River. In a place far away in a forgotten corner of coastal California, where the ancient redwoods shelter what was unnamed from the Athabascan language Tolowa to the Smith River. For Jeremiah Strong Smith, famed 75 years after his death as explorer, hunter, trapper, whose meanderings led to the 20-mile South Pass as the dominant point of crossing the continental divide. One of the few rivers in the waters of the U.S. without a single dam along its entire course, inspiring love among conservationists and water hogs. A remnant of the National Wild and Scenic River Program. The river drains the 719 square mile rugged area of the western Klamath Mountains and the northern California coast ranges. Rivers perform their gravitational duties of moving flotsam and jetsam to the mouth of the Pacific Ocean. Maritime law distinguishes between jetsam and flotsam by the interference of human beings. Jetsam is the unwanted materials or goods thrown overboard and washed ashore. These items can be claimed as property. Flotsam has no property privilege and is treated as fair game.
Typically, wreckages wash up abandoned remains who once mastered the waters. At one time, the salmon and the steelhead feasted in the serpentine waters drenched with coagulated blood from the massacre of the Tolowa-speaking natives. California once sanctioned bounties of $5 for the scalps of Native Americans. In 1850, California law made it legal to declare any jobless Indian a vagrant, then auction his services off for up to 4 months, permitted whites to force Indian children to work for them until they were 18, provided the permission of what the law called a friend was obtained first. This is why you hear the Mexican old farm workers in broken English start off with, my friend. The permissible banishment of 1850, the colonial cow, the arboric and auric fever swarmed in 1853, the Yontoket. The river murmurs in gusts and bellows, the hunting words of Elder Bomelin, half in English and half in Tolowa. The flames of the burning houses grew even higher, with even the children being thrown to their deaths. Native American historian Benjamin Madley called this the deadliest massacre in American history. The river became the spiritual redeemer for people like Sam McVeigh, who collected their $5 bounty on the skull from the county of Del Norte. Was it flotsam, the damning with puffy, bloated bodies? Was it jetsam, discarded property into the river to be washed away, to wash away the collective guilt? The river gorged and swelled with the burnt bodies and dismembered, defenseless torsos. Such a massacre was permissible by California's first governor, Pete Burnett, where he stated, until the Indian race became extinct, the war of destruction shall continue. So was his rhetoric in 1851, a couple of years prior. Tolowa Dini, today a federally recognized nation, small in numbers, 1,800 members, crusades for a return to their original lands, short of money to buy their land back. They have been outbid by the millionaire entrepreneurs of the dot-com era with their terra fever, have had their telluric desires quickly crushed like salmon on a turbulent river. End of poem. This next piece, I know Richie's taking notes here. This next one is dedicated to all the politicians who are vote against the voting right and all of the progressive agenda, and then they are all quoting MLK merely for the content of their character, obviously, because everything else we don't want to say it, right? So to the crits there, the anatomy of resentment. Nature does not know what you're looking at. She behaves the way she's going to behave whether you bother to take down the data or not. Richard Feynman. The grievant in a society who has been deprivileged may not make the best observer for rendering witness to collective reality. There is an assumption of positionality and subjectivity of the observer altering or fulfilling their results in the real universe with their perception or knowledge. Societies can observe and describe themselves, the irritative talking heads, the propaganda pundits, the Habermasian over-discourse community complainant meetings, the sacrificial social justice, the nostalgic negators, the cancerous conservatives, the identitarian instigators, trying to gain enunciative power above the convoluted signal to noise level to gain distinction. Observing means distinction between out-group, in-group, and the outside. Social systemic observation is not a physical act, nor consciousness in a social context or social context required. Social systems observe via full spectrum communications. The benefits gained from a privileged group membership can threaten social identity and evoke acrimony between the in-group and a disadvantaged group. Racial privilege justified by modern racist attitudes. Quote, while Americans randomly assigned to think about white privilege express greater modern racism compared to those assigned to think about white disadvantage. Increased racism in response to thoughts of white privilege was limited to those who highly identify with their racial category. In contrast, when white racial identification was sufficiently low, thoughts of white privilege reliably reduced modern racism. Branscombe, Nilar et al. Observations recursively reconstitute whether through the affinity of self-terminating perturbations which dissipate via internal restructuring adaptations or propagating some external changes. Some perturbations resonate, recirculating into shattering existing internal structures or blowing up the identity of the system completely. The system straddles identity between the distinction of inside and the environment. Identity is the autonomous act of self-description. Self-description is never total. It can't be more complex than the system itself. Inherently, we see the first application of semantic metonymy, the substitution of an attribute or adjunct for the totality of the identity, and thus a self-simplification. Identity needs specific semantics to describe itself. These semantics give meaning to acts. The political functions by the self-description are collectively binding decisions. Identities need simplified definitions of themselves. If you want to see social indeterminacy on the macro scale, you need to completely isolate the function you are observing from the rest of the universe. That's hard to do. There's so much entanglement. Even the deepest vacuum of space has light photons passing through it. Virtual particles constantly arise in quantum vacuum devoid of any other particles of matter, including photons. Isolating something from the universe would require it to be absent of the real or virtual, therefore rendering into a totally different universe. The observer effect becomes irrelevant in this identity. And peace. And then let me cue up my song sheet here. All right. A quick song. Somos un sueño imposible que busca la noche para olvidarse en su sombra del mundo y de todo. Somos en nuestra quimera doliente y querida. Dos hojas que en el viento juntos en el otoño. Somos dos seres en uno que amando se mueren para guardar en secreto mucho que quieren, pero ¿qué importa la vida con esta separación? Somos dos gotas de llanto en una canción. Nada más. Eso somos. Nada más. All right.
You always finish our history lesson with us a song.
So that was Somos by Chabela, Mexican, Costa Rican Mexican singer. And I hope you guys liked those two pieces, especially that second one. I'm sure Kit was rocking it.
Yeah, they were beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful storytelling. And your voice, just soothing. Heck yeah. Thank you so much. Heck yeah. Encore. Yes, thank you so much. All right. So we are narrowing down the knot here. My babies are having a good old time. And this is it. Thank goodness. Okay. So we're going to bring Richie to the stage. He's going to give us a few of his pieces. Oh my goodness. Okay, hope you're excited because I'm excited. Richie, darling, take the mic when you are ready, love.
All right, sweet. Thank you so much. Hopefully the sound is all right. Yeah, thank you so much. It's great to have everyone here tonight, and it's been kind of rare. I guess I don't perform that often. That's crazy. But I'm gonna share a couple of my pieces. I'm gonna kick it off with a cover poem. In fact, I want to just give a shout out and order of congratulations to my buddy Carlos Fidel Espinosa. His book "How to Lie to a Customs Agent" just was announced as the winner of the Southwest Book Award. And so, our awesome Robin Schofield is the previous winner. So, if you're in the same award category as Robin Schofield, you've done something cool. Carlos is a good friend of mine, and I helped him edit the book, so I feel particularly happy that I knew it was a dope book. So I'm gonna, as a tribute, as a celebration, I'm just gonna read the opening piece. It's called "It's Easy to Lose a Lover in the Desert." Sometimes the desert dries the things we love into fine silver dust for the wind to carry over the Franklin Mountains and into Juaritos. This happened to my wife once, when the police found her missing lover dead in the green chile fields of Hatch, New Mexico. The heat from the green chile made the bullish maggots furious. They lacerated her lover's face and feasted on his soft skin. My wife never cried for him, not even when she found his heart in a bowl of pico de gallo that we ate together. Now she won't stop dreaming that she is the desert rain. In the desert, it is not unusual that we dream we are the rain, but in her dreams, her body soaks the green chile field until her lover's sun-bleached bones take root and bloom. I've lost lovers to the desert too, but my wife doesn't care. She never asks about them. On our anniversary, she sends me postcards from Hatch, New Mexico. Platitudes mostly. So yeah, that's the opening piece. It's a pretty interesting look into border life and a lot of family trauma. If you want to hear more about it and hear him speak, we actually do have a video on our YouTube channel, on the Barbed War Open Mic YouTube channel. That was part of a Papagayo event. It's something else that I help with and help run. Where we did a book release. So he got to read from the book. He also read a new short story from something new he's working on. It's so sad. Like it has an impact. So check that out. It is on our YouTube channel. And as you see there, I think some people are mentioning it. Barrio Panther Volume 4 is I think taking submissions, or is it over yet? I can't remember.
Submissions are open until February 15th.
Well, there you go. Get into that collection. It's really dope. Last year, a bunch of us got in it. It was really cool to be in a collection with Kit, for example, and Robin, and who else made it? It's quite a few of us. So check that out. I think the website is on there. Cool. So I'm happy about that. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, Papagayo. We also did an interview workshop with Gris Munoz, author of Cuatlicuegro. That book is making waves as well. Another awesome borderland writer here in El Paso, making big things happen. Okay, cool. Back to now to some of my pieces. Shout out, I do want to mention that I'll be performing this Wednesday with a live jazz band once again. That's kind of become a little bit of my niche. I have the honor and pleasure of working with some of the best jazz musicians in the city. I'm also lucky enough to call them friends. But it's a lot of fun. I love getting to spit poetry with the music and just kind of making it mesh. It's just kind of always been my style. So this first piece is in Barrio Panther Volume 3, and it's also based off of jazz. So here we go. I've got bebop taste buds and a hip hop heart. You know what? Actually, let me move over here so I'm not looking away. Sorry about that. You can tell how often I don't perform because I'm so rusty. All right, here we go. This one's called Bebop, or it's called Downtown Bebop. I've got bebop taste buds and a hip-hop heart, running through the streets at dark to the glow of dawn, shake my soul to the flow of biddy biddy bum bum. Let us measure out our lives in poetry, funky bass lines and sizzling sex riffs. Give me bebop jazz, nachos from the tap, and something to write with. That's all I'll need to make it through the night until the next paycheck. Until then, I'll write and I'll write and I'll write and I'll how as the band summons the ghost of Charlie Parker so we can learn how to fly without wings and get hooked on speed. We don't need the high life, but this life. It's the only one we've ever known. Drinks with friends. Jukebox love songs, dancing the night away, cumbia, shuffle, bachata, freestyle, last call moments shared for life, liberty, and pursuit of meaningfulness. All right, that's Bebop. I'll share two more. I don't think they're too long. Maybe this one's a little longer, but I hardly ever read this one. It's discombobulated. It is a very much bohemian-inspired poem of living in an art garage, warehouse, loft thing, and just being in love all the time. All right. Frenzy and Fury, Beautiful Dreamer. 4 a.m., intoxicated buzz of frenzy and fury. Spray paint coats the air of this bohemian underbelly bridged between Star and Ekis. Is this it? There are lots of substances swimming in here. Two-way drunken text in the shapes of smoke signals, beatbox in my head, hummingbird in my heart. I tried the coffee spoons, but the other stuff was so much more alluring. Love has very well taught me that the actions of fools. I'm glued to this chair, but the sky is calling me. I want to serenade the past and caress the rhyme of tomorrow as chills recollect static from the space of in-betweenness. Space for peace, at least, for lease, familia. Fleck away from the splatter of fragile hues and dark matter to the clash and clatter of me and you. Guess who? Hopscotch to the scotch on the rocks. Leave your socks at the door. This is our dance floor of your dream-skewed familial moon that led to swoons in June for a year-long build-up to a tune of a room. Then there was you, fortune and frenzy, flame and fury, turntable turbulence, burn the beat, jump in the jukebox and supreme screen scene of tactile tectonics, sonic boombox to rock your socks, stomp your feet with café con pan melodies, jump in on your jealousy. It's a jigsaw jive to a shindig jig. You dig. It's spread out like dirt through the hurt and sandstorm form of white sand energies that will see a new sense of urgency through illuminated glass. The spiraled truth reveals itself. S. Moose sign. It must be Kandinsky, moon dancer, you firecracker anthem. I nod my head to the beat that echoes in the wake of your footsteps. Heartbeat. Lively pulsations of pithy meanderings, sleepwalker with a tempered glance of steel and roses, lullaby of the world. It's gonna take a lot more than hope to get us home, a lot more love to show us pain or hate to slow us down in battle of heart versus brain. Our walk is the climb of a reckless dancer, each step improvised a bit more than the last. Will we still love each other in the end? Even Orpheus looked back. See, only the mad ones know what delights are swimming inside that beautiful mind of yours, and we're a slow dance away from trouble. All right, so there's that one, which I never performed because it needs a lot of editing still. But here we go. It's Monday night. We're riffing. This is the last one. It's kind of similar. I chose poems with similar things, and so as I read it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of similar imagery in these. So if I were doing a manuscript, maybe these would go next to each other, through threads. All right, last one. It's called In the Air. So for everyone, for all you guys, in the air. Can you dig it? These soft, syrupy syllables, a sweetened sonic tonic, a saxophonic and savory strings dipped in melodic prose. This is midnight music, a little something to dance to. Behold this tapestry of creation and destruction. It is the folding and unfolding of the cosmos and the breath of a moment. These are songs to hold on the tip of your tongue, as if sung from celestial vagabond bloomings of bent around the street corner and nowhere else but tomorrow. Don't ingest the smoke. There's so much more in the air, like music. See, we're running on empty and the night and the moon is near full. We got the whole night ahead of us and just enough fuel. As origami dreams of the heart take flight, having never before believed so much in the potential of a horizon. Carve your name into sidewalks, etch your essence into the secret passageways of underground cities. Know what I know. Look for those hidden corridors that keep in hold the secret blues of desolate angels, solemn, happy in their otherworldly glow of existence. We'll explore those crosswords and the chords of existence. We're all students to the sound of a Monday night or any other. Everything else is embellishment. Mystified by the music, we succumb to the late night mellow beats of infinite theoretical musings. All right, and that is it. Really quick plug. So again, this Wednesday, if you're in El Paso, come check us out at Good Times at 2626 from 9 p.m. to about 11:30. I'll be spending with a couple other poets like Celia Aguilar, Rebel Agnostic, Valentin Sandoval. We did a little something a couple months ago. It was super fun. Tomorrow, we're going to be at Mona Bar of Modern Art. If you're free, come check it out. And then Friday, we're going to be at Craft Rhythm and Brews. We're trying something new day, new night. And then we'll move from there. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I know I'm not as refined as you guys, but anyway, Dan, are you ready?
Boom, boom, boom.
Well, let's go back to Con.
Okay. Yeah. As a hybrid, that would be pretty cool, huh? So we could watch you, Richie. Do your thing. Heck yeah.
Richard?
I'm sorry if I talked over somebody. I can do a closeout piece for us. Well, Nick, did you have something ready to go?
I can always pull something out. I can always pull something like right here. Hang on one second. Oh, wait. What do I have here? It's this book. All right. So I have an idea, Con, and I think I've done this with here with Richie, but I don't think I've ever done this with you. Pick a number between 1 and 106.
95.
95. Let's see. What is 95? Oh, it's a shorty. I like this one. This one's a really good one. It's a little 3 haikus from my book and everything. They're all coupled together like a triku. I'll pick us up. I don't think I've ever even done this one before too. So yeah, debut. Pick us up. Blessed to the ones who are withering in pain, may you find the light. Blessed to the ones suffering from past traumas, may you find the light. Blessed to the ones who have healed and want to help. Help the ones who ask. It's like a little prayer almost, you know?
Mm-hmm. Nice mantra to keep with us throughout the day.
Woo!
Heck yeah, heck yeah. So thank you all for tonight. It has been great.
Okay.
You ready to go, Dan Love?
Yeah.
Let her rip.
So excited, Dan. Be excited. You're about to perform.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am not able to locate the poetry I did last year for Martin Luther King Jr. I don't know what happened, and it's called Salute to Martin Luther King. But I don't think I have it. I do apologize for that, but I'm gonna try as much as I can. So let me show you the picture of today's hero.
You're good, Dan.
I'm coming. Hold on. I don't know why this damn thing's slowing me down.
We can't see it then.
Come on. There it is. Martin Luther King. He was an activist, and he did had a dream. And yes, he led us to a successful dream, leading to the civil rights movement. And this time he he succeeded. And we still carry on the legacy of Martin Luther King. Yes, he did have a dream. Well, that it is the scene, and we did see it. And the speech of his dream is still live streamed. And it is a light beam. And the civil rights movement, they were a team, and they succeeded. And it's still the mainstream. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we just want to say a salute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And there's this one quote: "A mind is a terrible thing to waste." That is a quote. That is according to Martin Luther King Jr. Okay. Yep, that is that is the extremely, yeah, that's true. Okay, well that is the that is a tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. With the help of my rhyming dictionary. Okay. There is a poetry I did last year. It's featured on my Seeds of My Poetry Slam. Yeah, thank you, Kit, for sharing that one. Please check it out. Yeah. Okay. And further and foremost, today would have been the 100th birthday of Betty White. Well, I'm sad the life came to an end. But there's one thing I want to say. Thank you for being a friend, Betty White. Happy 100th birthday. Okay.
All righty. Thank
Hold
you,
on.
Dan.
Where is it? Come on.
Dan the Man.
All right, here it is. Here's my card. Read it and weep it. Find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Don't forget to search the title and subscribe. And yes, Twitter, Instagram, and yeah. So yeah, this is the end. All right, guys. Screenshot it if you have to.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
guys. Sorry for the delay. I couldn't find that poetry for Martin Luther King Jr. that I did last year, but just Kit already shared that. My YouTube episode. Just please check it out. You'll like it. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you guys next Monday. I'll try to see if I can make it tomorrow, but if not, I'll see you in 2 weeks. But I'll try to see if I can make it on Wednesday. All right, guys. Y'all have a great night. Back to you, Con, and tell Richie to take it all the night.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Awesome. I think we have actually done well tonight. It's been amazing. I hope you guys feel whole and, we've done our healing for tonight. We were here with each other and it's been a good night. I want to thank you, Richie, for letting me do my thing. Thank you for all the poets who bared witness and held space for me as well. I appreciate you. And I'm going to pass the mic back to Richie if I could.
All right, dope. Thank you, Khan, so much for filling in one of our awesome perpetual hosts. You're welcome anytime to host. Just let me know. Also, of course, we got Kit as well, and Nick that fills in whenever he wants to. Also, little bit of a surprise. We got a newcomer coming in February. I'm not gonna spoil it just yet, but we do have someone who threw their hat in the ring to offer to host. So I think that'll be interesting. So just kind of keep it fresh, and also just keep you guessing. Maybe I'll drop hints at every single open mic until then. Until he's released, we'll drop little hints here and there. It'll be like a little puzzle. You have to watch all the open mics
No, I'll wait till
consecutively.
February. I'll wait till February.
No,
Just
Dan, I'm gonna
wait.
force you to play.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it's a trick.
It's Dan, guys. I'm kidding. It's not Dan. because he's got to take the whole show to finish and get ready his poems ready to close out the show. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank everyone who tuned in. Shout out to everyone who was watching on YouTube. Of course, Andres, as always, Samuel Wilson, love you, man. Miss Amanda. Had a couple other people. Super Mario, Manuel Martinez. That's right, showing family love. We had a couple other peeps that I'm missing right now, but as always, thanks for tuning in. We're gonna be back next Monday, as always. One of many spaces that you guys can check out and perform. Of this Saturday, we do have Tumble Awards. As always, who's hosting that one? Is it?
That would be Terry Rose.
Oh, Terry Rose. Okay, cool. Terry, awesome. Do you want to talk about Wednesday really quick, Terry?
Wednesday?
Saturday.
Tumble Awards.
Saturday?
Yes.
Creative free for all, which pretty much anything goes. I was gonna theme it with love and peace. I figured it was like appropriate. So that's about it, I guess. It's the first time I'm ever hosting, so I really, it's like new territory.
All right. No, that's great. Awesome. I'm excited. I love to see so many people from these communities coming into Tumble Awards as well. I mean, it's such a bleed through. So looking forward to that. Yeah. So again, I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the show. If you do want to sign up, the best action is to follow us online at the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. So if you're on YouTube right now watching this, you're already on our YouTube channel. Just go below, look at that screen where it says subscribe and click that. There's also a little bell. If you click on that bell, you'll be notified when we upload new videos. This includes our Monday night online mics. I always pre-upload the stream so you can, set a reminder when it goes live. But whenever we upload a new video, in that description is the sign-up sheet for that week. So it's a little bit of a tip. Definitely recommend that. That's usually the first thing that goes up. Of course, we also post on social media. Look forward to it, guys. And we'll see you guys next time. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. Once again, shout out to all who performed and supported. Peace.